Do you ever wonder, could the way you eat your eggs be silently harming your health? Sounds dramatic, I know. But what if this everyday habit, something as innocent as your morning eggs, is actually contributing to bloating, brain fog, stiff joints, or even rising cholesterol? Most of us wouldn't think twice. Eggs are a symbol of health, right? They're quick, versatile, and packed with protein. We've been told they're good for our hearts, our brains, even our waistlines. But as someone who's spent decades walking side by side with older adults through the journey of healthy aging, I've seen firsthand how small habits, especially around food, can quietly tip the scales between feeling vibrant and feeling stuck. Because here's the truth, it's not just what we eat that matters, it's how, when, and what we combine it with. And eggs, as powerful as they are, can become problematic when we don't treat them with the care they deserve, especially in our later years. So, let's gently peel back the shell, so to speak, and explore four of the most common mistakes I've observed over the years when it comes to eating eggs. More importantly, we'll uncover simple, practical fixes that will allow you to continue enjoying this wonderful food while safeguarding your long-term health and vitality. Mistake number one, cooking eggs in inflammatory oils. Let me introduce you to Ruth, a vibrant 67-year-old with a zest for life. Ruth loved her morning ritual, two sunny side-up eggs. It was her daily dose of comfort and familiarity. Like many of us, she'd been using vegetable oil to cook them, the same way her mother always had. It felt natural, almost automatic. But here's the thing. Those commonly used oils like vegetable corn and canola are brimming with omega-6 fatty acids. Now, these aren't inherently bad. In moderation, they play a role in our health. However, the typical modern Western diet tends to be heavily skewed towards omega-6s and lacks sufficient omega-3 fatty acids. This imbalance is a significant driver of chronic inflammation in the body. And chronic inflammation, as many of you know, is like a silent fire that can slowly damage our joints, our arteries, and even our precious brain tissue over time. Think of it like this. Omega-6s can promote inflammation, which is a necessary response when we're injured or fighting off infection. But omega-3s help to dial that inflammation back down. When we have too much of one and not enough of the other, the inflammatory response can become chronic and problematic. Leading experts in nutrition, like Dr. Walter Willett from the Harvard T.H. Chan School of Public Health, have consistently emphasized the critical role of fat quality in our diets. He and many others have shown that simply replacing these omega-6 rich oils with healthier alternatives can have a profound impact. Ruth, bless her heart, was open to trying something new. She made the switch to extra virgin olive oil for her daily eggs. On weekends, she even experimented with ghee, which adds a lovely richness and has its own set of potential benefits, particularly for those with certain sensitivities. And sometimes, just to mix things up, she started poaching her eggs in water. The results? Well, they were quite remarkable. Her persistent bloating, something she'd almost accepted as a normal part of aging, completely disappeared. Her knees, which had been feeling stiff and achy, felt noticeably lighter and more flexible. And at her next checkup, her cholesterol levels had actually improved. It was a small, seemingly insignificant change, but it truly made a world of difference in Ruth's daily life and her overall well-being. The simple fix: swap out those vegetable, corn, and canola oils for healthier options like extra virgin olive oil, avocado oil, coconut oil, used in moderation, or ghee. And don't forget the simple goodness of poaching your eggs in water. It's a fantastic, fat-free way to enjoy them. This small adjustment can significantly reduce your intake of inflammatory omega-6s and support a healthier inflammatory balance in your body. Mistake number two, pairing eggs with processed meats. Now let's talk about a breakfast that many of us grew up with. A classic in the American culinary landscape: eggs with bacon or sausage. It's undeniably tasty, evokes a sense of nostalgia, and can feel incredibly comforting, especially on a weekend morning. But this seemingly harmless combination can actually be a hidden danger to our health. I remember Henry, a retired firefighter in his early 70s, a real salt of the earth kind of guy. For years, his morning routine was as reliable as the sunrise: two fried eggs alongside two crispy sausages, washed down with a cup of black coffee. It was his go-to, his fuel for the day. But gradually, Henry started noticing some concerning symptoms. He experienced a tingling sensation in his feet, his legs felt heavy and sluggish, and his overall energy levels took a noticeable dip. When he finally went to see his doctor, tests revealed early signs of plaque buildup in his arteries and some nerve inflammation. The likely culprit? Those processed meats. Bacon, sausage, ham, and even some breakfast deli slices are often loaded with sodium, nitrates, and various preservatives. The World Health Organization, WHO, has actually classified processed meats as Group 1 carcinogens, the highest risk category, meaning there's strong evidence linking their consumption to an increased risk of certain cancers. Leading cardiologists like Dr. Dariush Mozaffarian have also warned extensively about the detrimental effects of processed meats on cardiovascular health, increasing the risk of heart disease, type 2 diabetes, and even certain types of cancer. And when you pair these with eggs, you might be inadvertently undoing some of the very health benefits that eggs themselves can provide. It's like taking one step forward and two steps back. Henry, thankfully, was proactive and willing to make changes. He didn't want to give up his beloved eggs entirely, and he didn't have to. Instead of the sausage, he started pairing his eggs with a slice of creamy avocado, some steamed spinach for a boost of nutrients, and grilled tomatoes for a touch of sweetness and acidity. The transformation was quite remarkable. His energy levels rebounded, the tingling in his feet subsided, his legs felt lighter, and even his doctor was able to reduce some of his medications. The simple fix: instead of reaching for bacon, sausage, or ham to accompany your eggs, consider healthier protein and nutrient-rich alternatives. Think about adding a quarter of an avocado, some sautéed mushrooms and onions, a side of steamed asparagus, a handful of fresh berries, or even some leftover grilled chicken or fish from the night before. These options provide valuable nutrients without the harmful additives and excessive sodium found in processed meats. Mistake number 3: eating eggs the same way every day. Let's chat about Gloria. At 72, she had a lovely, predictable morning routine: scrambled eggs on white toast with a pat of butter. It was simple, easy, and what she had always done. But as time went on, Gloria started feeling increasingly tired, sluggish, and even experienced some digestive issues like constipation. Her routine blood work also showed some concerning trends: low levels of essential nutrients like vitamin B12 and folate, and her cholesterol was creeping upwards. The problem wasn't the eggs themselves. Eggs, as we know, are a fantastic source of protein, healthy fats, and various vitamins and minerals. The real issue for Gloria was the lack of variety in her breakfast. While eggs are nutrient-dense, when eaten the exact same way every single day, without the inclusion of fiber-rich foods like fruits and vegetables, they can inadvertently crowd out other essential nutrients that our bodies need to thrive, especially as we age. Dr. Willett wisely reminds us that a truly healthy diet is about the overall pattern of what we eat, not just focusing on isolated good or bad foods. Variety is absolutely key to ensuring we obtain a wide spectrum of vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, and fiber that support all our bodily functions. Gloria took this advice to heart. She started intentionally rotating her breakfasts. Some days, she'd enjoy hard-boiled eggs with a side of mixed berries and a small chia seed pudding for added fiber and omega-3s. Other days, she'd whip up a colorful veggie omelet packed with spinach, bell peppers, and onions. Sometimes, she'd even bake a batch of mini egg muffins with different herbs and vegetables that she could grab and go. The changes were significant. Her digestion improved dramatically, her energy levels soared, and she even rediscovered the joy in her morning meal. Food became something to look forward to again, not just a monotonous routine. The simple fix: embrace variety. Don't be afraid to experiment with different ways to prepare your eggs and what you pair them with. Try scrambled eggs with chopped vegetables, frittatas with seasonal ingredients, poached eggs on whole wheat toast with avocado, or even adding cooked eggs to a salad for lunch. Incorporate a variety of fruits, vegetables, and whole grains into your breakfast routine to ensure you're getting a broad range of essential nutrients and fiber. Think beyond just the eggs themselves and consider what other nourishing foods you can include in your morning meal. Mistake number 4: storing eggs improperly. Now, this might seem like a minor point, but it's crucial for food safety. Eggs, despite their seemingly sturdy shells, are actually quite porous. If they're left at inconsistent temperatures or stored incorrectly, they can absorb bacteria and odors from their surroundings, potentially leading to foodborne illness. I recall George, a spry 74-year-old who lived independently and was generally very careful. He suddenly experienced a bout of severe stomach cramps, nausea, and discomfort. After some investigation, the culprit was traced back to his eggs. He had been storing them in the door of his refrigerator, which experiences temperature fluctuations every time the doors opened, and he'd also occasionally leave them out on the counter for extended periods. According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, eggs should always be kept at a consistent temperature below 40 degrees Fahrenheit, 4 degrees Celsius. The best place to store them is in their original carton on an interior shelf of your refrigerator, where the temperature is most stable. And it's absolutely vital to never leave eggs out at room temperature for more than 2 hours. Bacteria can multiply rapidly at room temperature, increasing the risk of food poisoning. George, once he understood the importance of proper storage, made a few simple adjustments to his routine. He started storing his eggs in the coldest part of his fridge, still in their original carton. He also made a habit of checking the expiration dates weekly to ensure he was using them while they were still fresh. And guess what? His stomach troubles vanished completely. The simple fix: always store your eggs in their original carton on an interior shelf of your refrigerator, where the temperature is consistently cold. Avoid storing them in the refrigerator door. Check the expiration date on the carton and use older eggs first. Never leave eggs out at room temperature for more than 2 hours. If you're unsure about an egg's freshness, it's always best to err on the side of caution and discard it. Food safety is paramount, especially as we get older. So, let's quickly recap the 4 key mistakes we've discussed. Cooking with inflammatory oils. Remember Ruth and her switch to olive oil, ghee, and the simplicity of poaching. Pairing with processed meats. Think of Henry and his transformation by choosing avocado, greens, and fresh veggies instead of sausage. Eating eggs the same way daily. Gloria's story reminds us of the importance of rotating ingredients and including fiber-rich sides. Improper storage. George's experience highlights the need to keep eggs cold, sealed, and in the fridge interior. The inspiring stories of Ruth, Henry, Gloria, and George beautifully illustrate how making just one small, mindful shift in our habits can create a powerful ripple effect on our overall health and well-being. Each of them experienced significant improvements in their energy levels, digestion, and overall vitality simply by paying a little more attention to how they were enjoying their eggs. Now, I want to ask you, which of these habits feels familiar to you? Is there one area where you think you might be able to make a small adjustment today? Remember, it's not about perfection, it's about progress. What small step can you commit to taking today to enjoy your eggs in a way that truly nourishes your body and supports your long term health, rather than inadvertently holding it back? Eggs themselves are not the enemy here. It's often our habits that can lead us astray. But the wonderful news is that now you have the truth, you have the knowledge, and therefore, you have the power to make smarter, healthier choices, starting with your very next breakfast. As we gracefully navigate the journey of aging, it's often the smallest, most consistent adjustments that bring about the biggest and most lasting rewards. So let's honor our bodies, let's fuel them wisely with intention and care, and let's continue to enjoy the incredible benefits that eggs can offer when we use them with the knowledge and consideration they deserve. Because at the end of the day, my friends, the greatest wealth we can ever possess is our health. Thank you for being here today, and I wish you all a vibrant and healthy future.